Young Turks Book Launch.
The idea was simply to profile stories of first-generation entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs who had created businesses that had become a niche. When we started closely analyzing all of that, we realized that some of the most interesting, compelling stories actually came from the tech space.
As they say on the bumper sticker, you've only got 3 choices in life: give up, give in, or give it all you've got. So this book is our attempt at understanding the choices made by 13 brave men, and their choices reflect their hopes and not their fears. And these entrepreneurs are living proof that we are not prisoners of our circumstances.
If you think of something that Bill Gates of the world and Larry Pages of the world or Mark Zuckerbergs of the world did not think, then you have a chance of creating India's first company with $1 trillion market cap. And for that, you have to go to what I term extreme differentiation. If you want to go public, realize that comes with many advantages, but at the same time it also comes with tremendous responsibilities. Quarter after quarter after quarter you have to show growth, otherwise Shireen will badger you, Shireen will grill you. When she realizes that you're a little bit weak, she has that daughterly affection to say a few good comments and help you come out of it. But the reality is simply this, that it is their job to grill you. It is the job of the investors to be dissatisfied with you. Therefore, if you are prepared to run this long marathon, quarter after quarter after quarter, you have to show revenue growth, you have to show profit growth. That's the only way this game is played.
And sharing their stories today are Snapdeal, InMobi, Fusion Charts and Capillary. Friends Rohit Bansal and Kunal Behel are the co-founders of India's largest e-commerce marketplace, Snapdeal. Today they have the largest seller network at 30,000 and on track to hit the 100,000 mark by next fiscal. With a headcount of just 1,500 and having raised close to $1 billion in funding this year, Snapdeal believes that its lean setup, coupled with its absolute focus on building a strong tech backbone, is what's helping them scale up and maintain their lead despite competition from local heavyweight Flipkart and global big daddy Amazon. Co-founded by 4 friends from IIT, Naveen Tiwari, Amit Gupta, Abhay Singhal and Mohit Saxena back in 2007 as M-Coach, a deals platform on the mobile, the venture rebranded itself to InMobi in 2009. The idea was simply to create a product that would sit between the advertiser and consumer and deliver well-targeted mobile ads. Today, InMobi services customers in 165 countries and has raised $216 million from heavyweight investors like Silicon Valley-based Ram Shriram and Japan's SoftBank. The last fundraise of $200 million from SoftBank in 2011 valued the ad network at close to $1 billion.
You guys have been through so much change, and in reading the chapter in the book as well, it was a lot about pivot, as you talked about it. But when you look at the evolution of the business, it actually was a very clear set of logical progressions over the years. So can you talk a little bit about that and whether you saw it as really radical changes or actually logical progressions, and maybe a little on what the next logical progression might look like?
It's very interesting that both of our businesses started their life with coupons and deals. And one became a mobile ad network and another became a marketplace. But you're right, in hindsight, all these seem almost like planned events, as if they were meant to be. But when we look back and see what we were doing 8 years back, as a physical coupon booklet company, we couldn't have imagined that we would be running a marketplace 8 years later. There's still that one day I remember. Both myself and Kunal, both of us have known each other since high school. So we started our business end of 2007 with a physical coupon booklet called Money Saver. And our idea was that, there are so many retail businesses coming up in the country. People would need a way to drive consumers to their stores. We were 23 years old, so we were pretty naive as well. So we thought this is the next billion-dollar idea, and let's start this. We spent about 10 months to launch the first product. We just wanted to get it right, from the printing of the booklet to the color scheme to the logo to the kind of offers we get, etc., etc., etc. It took us 10 months to launch. We said, we are pretty confident the day we launch, we'll sell out all the booklets that we print. So to make sure we don't run out, we printed 50,000 copies of the first edition. Over the first 10 days of launch, we would have ourselves met about 10 to 15,000 people to try and sell this concept to them. And in 10 days, we sold 4 copies. So that was a pretty humbling moment for both of us, and a sudden shock into realization that not everything that we plan will go as planned. And it's extremely important for us to go out there into the market fast and get real consumer feedback and listen to our environment. So as a result, over a period of time, we just very rapidly launched something into the market, learnt how the market was reacting to it, what our consumers were saying, and kept progressing. And that's what took us to our present business.
Actually, you bring up a great point, listening to the market and hearing that feedback. So today, as such a young company to have become so global, you were telling me recently now you've taken on the role of HR, which is a big testament to how important the company considers that function now. How are you handling being global?
Back even in 2010 or even 2009, we believed that mobile is global. And it was a pretty gutsy move with only 8 million in the bank that you guys gave us. Thinking about conquering the world was absolutely not possible. So clearly, taking that move and hiring that first person who we paid the salary which was collectively put together higher than every other employee in InMobi was a pretty gutsy decision. To do a 0 to 1, you need to believe in some of those things that only you know are true, and others will probably catch up to it. Global has been our mantra from day one. We right now have about 18 offices across the world. As one of my other employees says, sun never sets in InMobi empire. We always end up having calls in weird hours to support that business. So no, that's interesting.
Google and Facebook, even in the clip at the beginning, were mentioned as the companies out there, the companies in the space. Every day the team has to wake up and fight 2 800-pound gorillas. How do you keep a team energized against such big competition?
We can't beat Google or Facebook by being Google or Facebook. You need to come up with our own game and hope that we succeed in that game. It's a delayed gratification. So clearly we positioned ourselves very well. We're the only company which is a non-owned and operated space, which is in that list of top 10 mobile providers across the world. And that's an incredible feat in itself. But from here to go to the next level, you need to find a game that the other players are actually not capable of playing or are not able to see. And we've launched 2 of the very first initiatives, one in the field of native advertising and the other in the field of commerce space. And these 2 we absolutely believe are the spaces that are not being watched by these biggies. So, and that keeps us energized, and I'm sure if we can communicate it well, that keeps the team energized as well.
I think I have a little more to add in addition to what Abhay said about competition. We at some level as a company feel blessed because our company is strongly powered by technology, but has a very, very strong offline ground presence as well, which is a big differentiator for us. Earlier in the days, about 4 years back, when we were running our local deals business, for the longest time, American companies used to have one deal in a day in a city, which made sense for the US because, US cities are relatively small in size. There's just one downtown, everyone goes there for shopping, etc., etc., etc. Just didn't make sense in India. If you talk about a city like Delhi, it has probably 30 downtowns. And no one's traveling all the way from North Delhi to Noida to get a discount on a haircut. When we talked to our customers, people told us, as is, today's deal is in Noida, do you expect me to go from drive 50 kilometers to Noida to save $100 on a haircut? No. And that's when we launched deals which are closer to consumers. So we split cities into 10, 20 different parts. And that became one of our biggest differentiations and reasons for growth. Same applies to the current business which we are in. For example, the concept of cash on delivery doesn't exist in a large part of the developed economy. And this is such a big differentiation for the country. Making sure we sort of keep our ears on the ground and keep innovating for the country rather than being stuck to that, here is the global playbook, this is what happened, and we just need to copy that.
My business was actually not meant to be a business, but it was just a way to make me pocket money, and that's how the journey started.